Hello year 2, welcome back. Today you're just going to need your pencil and your paper. That's all you need. So let's get started straight away. Right, so the last lesson that we've got for our maths this week is we're looking at, can I describe movements and turns? So today we're going to be putting together everything that we've learned so far that I've been teaching about turns and movement, and we're going to be able to use it now to describe directions. So have a think. What can you remember? What was the language that we were using for turns and movement? What was those language? Those. So have a think. What can you remember? What was the language that we were using for turns and movement? What was the type of key vocabulary we were using to help us? Have a think. Talk to your teddy. Talk to an adult, and then pause the video. Have that conversation, and then restart the video. Okay, so the kind of vocabulary that we were looking at was clockwise and anti-clockwise. Those are the two types of turns that you could do. You could either go in one direction or the other. Now, can you remember which way clockwise and anti-clockwise was? Clockwise was turning to the right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then anti-clockwise was turning to the left. And then our other ways of movement, we weren't always turning all the way around when we were turning clockwise and anti-clockwise. We were doing maybe just slight turns. Can you remember what our types of turns that we were doing were? They were a full turn, which was going all. They were a quarter turn, which was one of 4 turns. A half turn, which was turning twice instead of all the way around. A 3/4 turn, which was turning in 3 different points of our full turn, and then the last one was our full turn, turning all the way around, starting where you ended up. So today we've got a bit of a challenge. This is my little friend Dennis. Dennis, he walks to school, and you can see Dennis is right here. He's waving us, giving us a thumbs up. Now Dennis needs to get to the school. Now he could go anyway, but he's going to follow this red line. Now, Dennis, he's a very interesting person. Like most people, he walks forward. He doesn't walk backwards, and he doesn't walk sideways. He must be always walking forward. So we need to orient, we need to change the direction that Dennis is facing so that we can get him from where he starts to where he needs to finish, which is at school. So first thing, think about your directions. What does Dennis need to do? What do you need to tell Dennis to do to get him from this square here to this square, to this point here, because now we're going to have to do something different down here. So first off, let's think about how we're going to get him from here to this square. Have a really good think. It's a bit of a simple one, actually. It's just move forward. But if we told Dennis to move forward, he might be like a bit of a robot. Well, imagine Dennis is like a robot. And if we told him to move forward, he might keep going and keep going and keep going. He'd never stop. And then he'd definitely not get to school on time. So how are we going to tell him to get exactly to this square? Talk to your teddy or to your adult and have a think. How are we going to get him from this square to this square exactly? We can't go any further. We need to get him there exactly. So if you were saying that he needs to go forward. Hello year 2, I just wanted to let you know I've had a little bit of an incident with the audio, so it's not going to link up very well with the video. My voice will seem like I'm talking when I haven't got my mouth open, or my mouth's open and I'm not talking. I do apologise for that. I'll do my best to make sure that it's almost the same as the video. So just keep watching. Don't worry, these things happen. It's okay. It'll be back to normal in the next video. Thank you for understanding. Okay, so if you'd said that he needs to move forward, you're right, but how far forward? If we didn't tell Dennis when to stop, he would just keep going and going and going till he's right off our page. So you needed to say he needs to move forward just 1 square. So Dennis moves forward 1 square. Okay, so now we need to have a think about where we're going next. Following the line down, we need to think, what kind of turn do we need to make? Do we need to make a quarter turn, a half turn, 3/4 turn, or a full turn? So if you've said we need to make a quarter turn or a 3/4 turn, you'd be absolutely right. The only thing that you need to make sure is you need to say whether your turn is going to be clockwise or anti-clockwise. So for this one, I'm going to be doing a quarter turn clockwise. So now that we're facing in the right direction, we need to continue to follow our red line and find out how many squares we need to move forward. So looking down, we need to move him forward 1, 2 squares. So Dennis moves 2 squares forward. Okay, so we're up to our second to last turn. We need to now decide whether we're going to turn him, which way and how much of a turn he needs to do to get on that red line. So he's currently facing down, so he either needs to turn a quarter turn anti-clockwise or a 3/4 turn clockwise. So there are your 2 options there. Now that Dennis is facing in the right direction, we need to decide how many squares forward he needs to go again. So having a look, he needs to go 2 squares forward. So 1, 2, and then we're up to our final turn now. So looking at our final turn, he needs to turn a quarter anti-clockwise. That's the easiest turn that I can see. If he wanted to, he could also turn 3/4 clockwise. So now that we're 1 step away from school, he just needs the final step to get to school. Super job, everyone. Well done. Don't worry, that's quite a challenge, so if you struggled a bit, that's okay. Okay, so now it's your turn. This is your time to now have a bit of a practice at what we've just had a look at when we were looking at Dennis. So we've got a girl on a bike here, and we've got the school. So your turn is to try and get the girl from the bike to the school. However, we've got some instructions. So the instructions are telling us the journey. So you need to listen carefully to the instructions, and then you're going to draw a line showing her route to the school. So to start off, I would draw the girl on the bike and the school. So it's a square grid of 1, 2, 3, 4 squares along the top, and 1, 2, 3, 4 squares down, and then the rest of them are filled in until it's even. So the instructions are forward 1 square, turn left, forward 1 square, quarter turn anti-clockwise, forward 1 square, make a quarter turn clockwise, forward 1 square, make a 3/4 turn anti-clockwise, forward 3 squares. Okay, so the first thing that you should have done is looking at our first instruction, it's forward 1 square. So, starting from the lady with the bike, you need to just go forward just 1 square. Then it says do a turn left. So that needs to go up. You need to go up facing. Then it says forward 1 square. So then we're up 1. The next part of that instruction says quarter turn anti-clockwise. So thinking about clockwise is to the right, anti-clockwise is to the left. So we need to turn a quarter to the left, which means it's facing back towards where she just was. So then we need to move forward 1 square. So we're just 1 square above from where she started. The next instruction is make a quarter turn clockwise. So that would be, there's only one way she can go here, so it's going straight back up. So we're going up now, and we need to move forward 1 square. Now, this is a bit of a trick one. You'd think it would say a quarter turn clockwise, but actually what it's saying is do a 3/4 turn anti-clockwise. But because we know They're the same thing. So the 3/4 turn anti-clockwise would be facing towards the school now, and the final step would be 3 steps forward. So those 3 steps forward would take us right to the school. Well done if you got that right. Super job. It looks like a number 5 with a really long top of the head. So well done to everyone if you got that. Don't worry, it's quite difficult, so super job. Let's have a look at your activity for today. Okay, so with our learning objective of can I describe movement and turn, your activity is part 1. With a family member, put together your knowledge of movements and turns to guide someone around a room using the correct language. Now remember, our key vocabulary is forwards, backwards, left, right, full turn, half turn, quarter turn, 3/4 turn, and then our directions of clockwise and anti-clockwise. You need to write your instructions down on a piece of paper and then read them out to your family member and see whether you've made the correct instructions to get them around a room. The next part of our activity today is to draw out the questions and answer them. So I've got 2 questions below here, and you need to draw these out and then answer them. So I'll make them bigger on the next screen so that you can see them nice and clearly. Okay, so the first part of your second task is, can you draw directions for Dennis to get to each place on the map? So there's 3 places on the map. Can you draw not only a line for him to get there, but can you tell me the instructions that he's had to take to get to each one? There looks to be a tree, a school, and a park, I believe. That are the 3 things he needs to get to. Draw out the map and then tell me how he gets there. And then the second part of the second question is, how many different routes can you take getting from start to finish only using certain vocabulary? Now you can only use the words forwards, backwards, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and quarter turn. So that's a bit of a challenge one. You can't use the other vocabulary that we've been learning, so you need to only use those words. How many different ways can you get from start to finish? Challenge. Thank you for coming to this lesson year 2. I really appreciate it. I'm really sorry about the audio that has not gone very well for this video, but don't worry, these things happen and we'll be absolutely fine for the next video. Thank you again. Make sure you're posting your work to Tapestry. That's where we're marking all the work and we're adding it to your profile. So thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.